Caitlin Clark and the idea of a government probe or an investigation into hostile work environments being conducted by the government because of the actions that the league itself and some of the players have had towards Caitlin Clark. Let me be the first to say the following. I can't stand the idea of the government getting involved in anything. I want the government to stay out of pretty much everything.
Just when you thought the WNBA drama couldn't get any crazier, Stephen A. Smith drops a bombshell so big, it's got the entire sports world talking. The outspoken ESPN analyst is warning that Donald Trump, yes.
So you know the basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. She is in the Women's National Basketball Association. Big star, huge star, brilliant player. Okay, she's on the Indiana team. Now, 64% of the WNBA is black. All right, Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way. Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical inappropriate conduct.
Donald Trump could personally trigger a massive federal investigation into the WNBA. And at the center of it all, Caitlin Clark. What could possibly be going on behind the scenes that would have the former U.S. president linked to one of the most controversial rookie seasons in women's basketball history? Buckle up, because this story is about to get wild. Stephen A. Smith is no stranger to stirring the pot. He's called out NBA legends, NFL stars, and even his own colleagues on live television. But his latest segment took a turn no one expected. On ESPN's First Take, during a heated debate about how Caitlin Clark has been treated in her rookie season, from hard fouls to questionable officiating, Stephen A. leaned forward, looked dead into the camera, and said, "You keep playing these games, the wrong people are going to start asking questions. And don't be surprised if somebody like Donald Trump decides to make this his next fight. Because once you get politics involved, you're talking about federal oversight, lawsuits, and subpoenas. The WNBA doesn't want that smoke." The studio went silent. Co-hosts stared in shock. And just like that, Stephen A. had linked Caitlin Clark's on-court treatment to the possibility of federal intervention. Now you might be thinking, why on earth would Donald Trump care about the WNBA? Here's the thing. Trump has a history of inserting himself into major sports controversies, especially when they involve what he calls unfair treatment or political bias. Think about his NFL kneeling comments, his back and forth with sports media, or his recent remarks about cancel culture in athletics. And when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she's not just any player. She's the biggest star the WNBA has seen in decades, bringing in record ratings, sellout crowds, and millions of new viewers. If Trump, or any political figure, wanted to use this as a rallying cry for fairness in sports, the attention could be massive.
I am looking at the Wall Street Journal. The author of the article is a guy by the name of Sean McLean. Let me read to y'all the opening couple of graphs, because I want you to hear the impact of this. This is serious. This is serious. And I could say it with my team here, having the footage and the receipts to back me up. I could be in that I told you so mode. I really, really could. But I ain't going to do that, because I'm in a good mood. I'm going to be chill. But I could be saying I told you so. Because let me read this to you. Caitlin Clark has done for the women's NBA what Michael Jordan once did for the NBA.
Stephen A.'s point wasn't random. He was essentially warning the WNBA. If you keep letting this girl get hammered on the court with no consequences, don't be shocked when politicians step in. And when they do, they won't just look at fouls. They'll look at everything. Let's not forget Caitlin Clark's rookie year has been anything but smooth sailing. The hard fouls, from Kennedy, Carter's infamous body check to Dejounte Carrington's eye poke. Clark has been the target of multiple aggressive plays, many of which fans say should have resulted in suspensions. Players across the league have been caught mocking her, targeting her in post-game interviews, and throwing shade on social media. A rookie privilege debate. Some claim she gets too much attention, others say she gets no protection. Either way, it's turned into a league-wide war of opinions. And here's where it gets interesting. Federal involvement wouldn't just be about dirty plays. If this escalated, it could open the door to questions about player safety, league management, broadcasting rights, and even financial practices. Within minutes of Stephen A's comments, X, exploded. One fan wrote, "If Trump steps into this WNBA mess, we're going to see more subpoenas than three-pointers." Another posted, "Forget politics. This is about protecting the biggest rookie in league history. Someone has to do something." And then there were the trolls saying, "Trump investigating the WNBA? What's next? A congressional hearing on technical fouls." The division was clear. Some saw this as an overreaction. Others saw it as the only way to force accountability. Now let's play this out. What exactly could a federal investigation into the WNBA even look like? It could involve player safety audits, reviewing game footage, medical reports, and officiating. Logs to see if certain players, like Clark, are being targeted without proper response. League governance review, looking into whether WNBA leadership.
I think we've got an unusual situation here. We've got a professional league that one could argue is not run professionally. All right, Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert, you are benign tumors at this point. All right, you refuse to step in and police your own league, and we're watching a social experiment taking place right now on Caitlin Clark. Now, I understand there's physicality in basketball. I've watched it, the 90s. Before that, I mean, the Jordan Bad Boy Pistons, they beat the crap out of Jordan. They did. But in the case that we're seeing with Caitlin Clark, I think this is different.
Including Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, is fairly and consistently enforcing rules. Financial transparency, examining sponsorship deals, revenue distribution, and whether marketing strategies are creating unfair internal tensions. Broadcasting contracts, investigating if certain players are being prioritized in coverage to the detriment of competitive balance. It sounds extreme. But as Stephen A. said, politics has a way of making the impossible suddenly very possible. Caitlin Clark didn't sign up for political warfare. She came to the WNBA to play basketball, win games, and inspire a new generation. But when your name is constantly trending, when you're pulling in millions of dollars for the league, and when you're the face of the sport, you can't avoid becoming a political pawn. If Stephen A's prediction comes true, Clark could find herself caught between league executives, trying to keep things quiet, and political figures, trying to make her the face of their crusade. That's a lot of pressure for a rookie, even one as mentally tough as Caitlin Clark.
I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark, the Department of Justice, and quite possibly the President of the United States himself. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. But one thing I will not do is take credit for this.
So far, the WNBA hasn't directly responded to Stephen A's comments, but insiders say the league is very aware of the political storm brewing. A source close to the league told us, "The last thing we want is Washington getting involved in our business. If this keeps snowballing, though, we might not have a choice." Meanwhile, coaches and players have been tiptoeing around the subject, either out of fear of fines or simply wanting to avoid more drama. But the silence is only making fans more suspicious. If you thought Stephen A would back down, think again. The very next day, he took to his podcast and doubled down, saying, "I'm not saying Trump will definitely get involved. I'm saying the WNBA is opening the door for it to happen. And if you think this league wants federal investigators looking through their files, you're out of your mind." In other words, Stephen A sees this as a very real possibility, and he's daring the league to prove him wrong. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about the credibility of the WNBA, the safety of its players, and the way professional sports handle star power. If Clark can't be protected, what message does that send to future rookies? To sponsors? To fans? And if Trump, or any politician, decides to make this a national talking point, the WNBA could suddenly find itself on the front page of every newspaper. Not for buzzer beaters, but for subpoenas and court dates. Right now, the ball is in the WNBA's court. They can either get ahead of this story protect their players, and calm the storm. Or they can keep playing defense until the political whistle blows. But make no mistake, Stephen A. Smith's warning wasn't just hot air. If Donald Trump gets involved, the league could be in for the fight of its life. And Caitlin Clark? She might just be the rookie who changes the WNBA forever, and for better or worse. And there you have it. A stunning twist that could change the future of the WNBA forever. If Stephen A. Smith's warnings are true, and Donald Trump really does unleash a federal investigation, the fallout could shake the entire league to its core. The question now is, how deep does this go? And how much more are we about to uncover? One thing's for sure. The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark isn't slowing down anytime soon. Before you go, make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this investigation will actually happen? Or is it all smoke and no fire? Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more explosive updates, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single twist in this ongoing saga. Until next time, stay tuned, because the truth is just getting started.